It's a phobie. Of all the phobies in the game, Cluck Norris is definitely one of them. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's Sunday night. We've got some viewer games on deck. We actually have an enormous amount of viewer games. I don't know what happened. We have an explosion of viewer games that are in the queue, including a whole bunch of people that are new. Hopefully we can get to some of those today. We'll see. I don't think we're going to make it in. Maybe one or two for this particular edition. I'm, knock on wood that we're not going to get a patch that's going to break any of these, and we'll get everybody in. You can, of course, hit up the links in the description for my Discord. That's where you can submit games to get them on stream. But beyond that, I, of course, have to let everybody know that I am part of the content affiliate program. That's how I'm getting that big bank of coffee. The devs give me that for producing Phobies content. So let's get into them games. What's going on, chat? How's everybody doing out there? Hope everybody's having had a good weekend, as we are now, at least where I am, closing things out. This person, oh boy, what? Did they like spell their name wrong? Yeah, maybe they didn't? Maybe they spelled it wrong in one of them. Internal server error. Not like this. What just happened? I know you can't see it, chat. I'm, Uh-oh. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. We're, reloading the client at the moment to try and see what's going on. I gotta clean up my beard. Mostly this side, I think. Gotta trim it up a little bit. It's scraggly. I got it trimmed up the barber a couple weeks ago now. What is happening? So I reloaded the client, but it's still producing this bug. Let me see if I can get into anybody's profile, because if we can't do that, there's gonna be a very short viewer games. Okay, so it's only that person's profile. Let me report this. Uno momento. All right, well, the first two, Operation X, I don't know why it's breaking, but I literally can't access your profile right now. It's producing an internal server error. I can get to other people's profiles, so I don't know what's going on. I did report it to the devs. We'll see what happens. But let's jump in with this one. All right, so first game up after the shenanigans with whatever's going on is fearSouls. Nothing much to say about this game. Well, then I don't have anything to say. They submit another game, and it says, another game, I don't know what to say. It's like, all right, well, sometimes the game speaks for itself. I will say that I do agree with Cars. We talked about this on the podcast now, going back a while. When was that podcast? I could look it up, but I don't care that much. This does feel like Gravedigger map, so not opening Gravedigger here feels odd. I understand bad guy's attempt here, but this is a terrible idea. Oh, God. fearSouls, if I recall, is very low stress level, and I have to imagine their opponent is as well. Oh my God, that's all. This might literally be bad guy's first game. That's a level 1 Gravedigger. I don't think Vix28 is a bot, right? Like, that's not one of the bots. Like, 90% sure that's not a bot. But that's a big yikes moment. What the hell is bad guy doing? I can understand why there's nothing to say about this game. Like, what is bad guy doing here? Are they just surrendering because they are so frustrated? What is happening? I can tell you right now, I don't understand. Low stress level games, man. Low stress level games. If this is not a bot, then yeah. Ouch down. Triple panic point advantage. Just complete domination of the board. I don't agree with that. That seems silly. I mean, I guess you can body block it here, but like, well, I guess at this point, there's like no way for them to get through that cat because the jar is already dead, and jar plus cowbell probably wouldn't have been enough damage anyway. So what does it matter? And I guess snowball or something wouldn't be able to reach. So maybe the cat is enough of a body block anyway. But I think you probably didn't need to break the block. You could have just, well, left the murder wing in a position where it could have connected. Like, it could have been in the spot it's in now, flown over, and you probably... You don't kill the sheep immediately? I don't know, I guess this is fine. I'm trying to think, like, if you had a larger collection, would the play have changed? But I don't know that any of it matters. Are you even going to lose a phobie? How does this game go on for 10 more turns? That's the bigger question. Honestly, I think you can go hard here and just get after them. Send the Contortio in, you send the Murder Wing in, you send the Jar in, and like they can't. I don't think they can kill you fast enough. This works too. That's an ice cream. Oh, Chad, I don't know why, but like in the last hour, my eyes have gotten so dry, like they're so itchy. I have no idea why. They were fine all day. I was just kind of relaxing today. Got a little work done on my own game. Did a little bit of testing. Have some notes to go for the next round, which will hopefully be later this week. And watch some football. Got to watch some fearSouls today. Naturally, American or gridiron football. For those in my international audience. Yeah, bad guys just cooked. Yeah, you can kind of tell there. That's fish tank. There's basically no reason for that guy to ever hit the board. I'll still point out, like, you don't have to do this. You get all the points and all the resources for the kills. Anyway. What's happening? Dude, why didn't you just hit the heart? This is a level 1 jar. I guess you want to protect the jar from their cassowary, but, like, who cares? It doesn't matter. Ooh, popping the murder wing. Still doesn't matter. You kill the cassowary, you reclaim the panic point, and that would be the ball game. Wait, are you killing it? Why does this game go on another 3? Oh my god. Alright, fearSouls, I feel like you're just taunting this person. You're just taunting this person at this stage. This is wildly unnecessary. Stop it, he's already dead. .gif. You know what's funny? Is that there's another turn after this. Because the 200 damage from the panic points is not sufficient to end the game. Boom. Got him. GG. What? Stress level 7. Alright. Alright. Told you. It is silly in the heebie-jeebies. Getting silly in the heebie-jeebies. Let's see if somebody else's game. Nope, we can get into this profile. Okay, I was about to say you gotta favorite your games. But the game was favorited. And that game is between counties and caffeine here on one of our new maps. Sheeping gas action. I don't believe it. Let's see what we got. We have a turn 1 murder wing. I think counties is also one of our lower stress level players. So no snowballs to open this map up early. I feel like that's the turn 1 play here, right? I don't think the turn 1 snowball is really punishable. At least not meaningfully. This is a quick game, though, so we're going to see how this turns out. I think you can snipe this murder wing, but if you do that, you're going to end up with... Yeah, you probably just more safely go for the cat. The question is, does our hero... They must out-level bad guy jar to murder wing. Because otherwise, oh, no, never mind. We get a body block. I was going to say, I think you trade your murder wing here and just claim the jar, but they do get the body block. Interestingly enough, it was cats the whole time for these defensive body blocks. Only just because that's the one key you have access to. Bad guy instead banked up to 6. We got an early erratic. Can definitely claim this murder wing, it would appear. Pop goes the murder wing. Yeah, and now Inoculus is going to take over the board. I have to imagine bad guy was thinking, like, haha, you've fallen into my trap. Now my erratic can wipe your board. And it's like, no, we're going to kite the erratic and then kill it. Or just park the Inoculus at a range and be like, all right, walk into range and I'm going to annihilate you. You have the chip damage here. Like I said, you got the erratic in range. They cannot reach with either the jar or the erratic without getting too close. Sheeping gas to back things up. We had this debate literally years ago now about erratic versus sheep. I'm still not a huge fan, but like, it's fine. What? That can't... Let's just call this particular set of moves, this strategy that bad guy's employing here, questionable. Like, is this just an accidental surrender? What's happening? You don't even need to hit it a second time. It dies to the lava. Yep. Do you even need the Clinico? I guess this is in anticipation of the sheep taking a ton of damage, but that seems unnecessary. Could be wrong. Bad guy with a very aggressive Gravedigger. I don't... Alright, sure, whatever. Oh, Mangle's coming out like 30 turns too late. Chad, I'm not gonna lie, I get so tired right when the stream starts. And then I go to bed after the stream, and I'm like wide awake, and I can't fall asleep for hours. It's killing me. It's killing me. And I've had multiple, I talked about it yesterday during Monster of the Week, I had a lot of weekends where it's like I'm not getting any weekends to sleep in or catch up on rest. Are we down on Meatball? Is that why that didn't happen? We have to be. Yeah. Otherwise, that guy is dead. Look, if you got a Clinico, your jar, you're in bad shape. Yeah, there's nothing bad guy can do. This was just an ass whooping. Bad guy just got their ass beat in this one. There's really not much to say about it. Talk about the last game having no comments. Like, this is just... Yeah. You got your dick knocked in the dirt on this one. Klepto for good measure. Bad guy will get to put some points on the board by attacking our hero's stuff, but that's about it. Gesundheit, because why not? Might as well get them monsters out there. And undeads. Whatever. I meant monsters more generically rather than the type of phobia. But either way, GG. Well played. Yeah, that was just kind of an ass whooping. There wasn't really much. There's not a lot of commentary to add there. It's funny, like I was saying, I was watching football today, and the announcers, you know, there's always a guy who does play-by-play, and then the other guy is just like trying to fill in and entertain more. But sometimes it's just like there's not a lot to say. There's, you know, just a game is an ass whooping. It's like you can talk about a lot of things, and maybe the beginning of the game, there's still, you know, there's a question. The game just started, but like sometimes it very quickly devolves into, nah, this game is over. This game is over. I'm not getting paid the money they are to do this. I'm not getting paid at all, so like I don't have to try and make it sound good. All right, Dear H chose not to favorite their game. And it doesn't appear to be on their profile. No, this one's back from the 11th. Yeah, if you don't favorite the game, they're going to fall off the profile, so nope. It was another Wuffalo game. So we are deprived of a Wuffalo. This many. Alright, TCT is our hero here on Exponential Decay. Man, first game after more than a year of burnout, and I almost get a heart attack. Are we talking about the game, or are you, like, you super nervous here? Welcome back, TCT. I was gonna say, I kind of feel like I recognize your name. I'm cooking, chat. Again. I am cooking again. Bad guy with a rusty opener, because of reasons. Matching droney openers. Okay. It's a phobie. Unfortunately, droney is not enough to one-shot droney, and I'm pretty sure droney can two-shot droney. Like, you can't even go and fight this. I'm not a fan of the droney opener. Or the droney response to the droney opener. Like, I don't know about this one. This one is questionable at best. Chat, we'll have to see about tomorrow's variety stream. Maybe I can talk my wife into playing some more Blitzball. I did pick up, I mentioned yesterday, I picked up the a necromantic team. I didn't assemble it today. I'm not going to assemble it tomorrow either. I'm just not going to have time. Let alone to paint it. These will be the first, like, real minis that I've had to assemble, as compared to all the Blitzball ones are kind of, well, not kind of, they're snap-together ones. So you don't even need glue. And I think I should paint these first, rather than, try and do it the other way. Now, our hero loses one key. They're losing a lot of panic points, but large map, time to recover. Not a lot of time with 1125. Like, that's a huge amount of panic points. This play is kind of cute. Does allow the Murder Wing to take this down, reclaim the point without catastrophic circumstances, because I'm pretty sure Jinsting will be incapable of killing this Murder Wing. And now, not perfectly stabilized, obviously. We're stabilized in our hero's favor, but a 1-0 panic point advantage like this, not a big life threat. Yeah, I don't love the boomer here. Bad guy is not offering up any displacement tools right now. The boomer cannot interact combat-wise, so it's kind of dead weight. Our hero is under a lot of pressure here. Like, bad guy is being pretty aggressive, and there's really nothing on the board that justifies not being aggressive, right? Like, if you're bad guy, you can just kind of get after it right now. Alright, one thing I will say for Boomer, at least it's tanky enough that it should survive this, but it is damaged a little bit. Tickles at least could have done some damage. But Maybe Noxious will shoo bad guy away. Problem is, if Noxious goes in, it's probably dead because it's going to get rustied, and whatever the follow-up is from bad guy should be sufficient to eliminate it. Alright, that's going to be a dead Murder Wing on top of the dead Boomer. That's a 5-0 panic point advantage once again. Oof. Six keys available. You have, like, maybe 2 more of your turns to make this work. Alright, so big old splash damage. 2 takedowns there. Alright, good retaliation from our hero here. Getting the follow-up they need. And all of a sudden, bad guys' forces look pretty anemic. Is this Ginsting gonna get poisoned to death relatively quickly? Because you're not counter-killing the Noxious right now. Hematic's just out of position. That Ginsting's dead, right? $16 keys to 16 keys. I think you kill the Ginsting here, if you're able. I highly doubt well, maybe they can now with Bad Sheep. I was going to say, like, Klopster and Noxious should be able to get it. Our hero's going to play it safe. I don't know that Noxious is safe. Because Bad Sheep can come up here, get the Klopster and the Noxious. Murder Wing assists. I don't know about this one. But flipping the panic points 4-1 the other way. Alright, Bad Sheep is going to go north. Alright, so we're going to take down the Klopster, let the poison tick on Noxious. You weren't going to kill it with the Murder Wing anyway, so that's fine. I thought the Noxious was lower, but... Take down there. Quick heal. Is there enough damage with a yoink to kill this, though? You can probably kill the sheep. It's either the sheep or Ginsting. I doubt you can kill Hematic from this position, but you should be able to kill the sheep. Looks like our hero is taking exactly that. Double hits from the Noxious. So the double hit here is only problematic because that means that the Noxious is dead. Like, there's just no saving that. Follow-up Stairmaster. That's how my eyes feel right now. They haven't quite grown legs yet, and they're definitely not shooting laser beams like I'm Superman, but... Hero's still under heart pressure, even though they have the panic point advantage for the moment. Dead Spider? Not quite. Dead Noxious, though. Into high 5. I kinda get it. I don't think our hero's low enough for high 5 to truly be a real threat. I don't know if I love that poison there if you're not going to kill this thing. I don't think I would have walked that close to high 5, but I guess it might not matter. But the takedown here... Well... Yeah, bad guy tries to, like, push with the Ginsting to maybe kill the Inoculus. It gets counter-killed, or should. Alright, going after Stairmaster. Yeah, that shouldn't be a kill. Which is kind of all that matters, is that you're going to get the actions back from this. Big ol' splash damage coming down. Very well played by our hero to stabilize this, because he was looking really bad early on. But I think bad guy just got a little too over-aggressive, a little too sloppy with their positioning. couple phobie choices on both sides were questionable, but... Alright, choosing to stabilize the panic points. I guess not stabilize them, but, like, really flip them in our favor. I don't know that this positioning does anything for them. You kind of just need the high five to get there at this point, and I don't think there was any chance it ever would at this stage. If that's a lot of damage, but so is what's happening on the other side. You don't kill this thing, do you? What do we end up with here? 540 health. Wasn't this in position to attack the heart? If it was, then, like, the game shouldn't even have gotten to this point. Not like it matters, because our hero took it anyway, but... GG. Very well played, TCT. Pulling victory from the jaws of defeat. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, we got an aliengineer game, chat. I have to imagine this was at the goading of Karst. Aliengineer doesn't typically submit games. But we do, in fact, have an Aliengineer game on Chapeltown, this time up against Hoploy. No notes for this. If you're not familiar with this, Aliengineer, one of, if not the best player in the game. Hoploy, as far as I know, still the undisputed champion of highest levels. W's, what's good? So let's see what the differential is here. Like I said, I have to imagine Karst encouraged 25 to 29. Hey, Aliengineer closing that gap. I have to imagine Karst pushed Aliengineer to submit this one. You just got the 10,000 coffee reward from Jax? Nice. Congrats. I saw a few people mention that in Discord that they did get it. I wonder what the odds are to get that. They've obviously got to be astronomically small, right? And I wonder what it would look like if that was available 100% of the time to happen. I mean, it's just a math question, right? Get Cluck Norris and Hercules? Well, 50% congratulations, 50% my condolences on that one. You can probably surmise which one is which. What do we got here? I mean, Aliengineer was controlling the panic points early on. I guess just trading one keys here. You might get a pot shot onto Ginsting, but seemingly not because of the Temptress, which I'm never a fan of Temptress, but if you're as high level as Hoploy, it's probably playable. Cluck Norris is pretty good considering the fact there's an undead event. It's a phobie. Of all the phobies in the game, Cluck Norris is definitely one of them. I can't get behind the idea of, like, this is a good phobie because there's an event going on. It's like, well, you could just play the other phobies that are also that type. You could also just play those phobies, too. You don't have to play the bad ones. You have him at Gin Sting, so you got the whole Gin Sting squad? True. True. I will point out Aliengineer with an interesting phobie. We haven't seen Quagmire that much lately. There was a time where it was like all Quagmire all the time. Not just out of like Aliengineer, but out of a lot of players. Out of a lot of players. We got an even panic point spread at the moment, 3-3. Both players banking up a little bit. That Gonzo offering up a fairly significant threat. Obviously, Aliengineer is trying to gear up for an invasion. Getting invaded. Wants to bank up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 phobies to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is the Akira, and Hoploy has the advantage here of they have the first Akira on the board. You use them all the time. You'll see with my submission. All right. We will check it out at some point. That's a brony. Speaking of using it all the time, that is a Aliengineer special. Aliengineer has been cooking people with brony literally for years now. However long they've had it. And this looks like a very bronyable board. Something like that. One, two, three, four, five, six. So interestingly enough, Hoploy is maxed out. Like if they get bronied here, there's no additional help coming until Aliengineer chooses to remove something from the board. We don't have a Shove Shark to get the brony like all up on Hoploy yet. And Aliengineer does have to be careful of the brony position because the Akira is live. But now we get the Shove Shark. That is the 7th phobie for Aliengineer, also locking themselves out. 7 keys remaining to 12. Ooh, it's a brony stare down. Yeah, this one absolutely reeks of Karst. There's a 100% chance that Karst said, yeah, submit this game. This is really interesting positioning. This is mostly due to Akira, but the Rusty also makes life very complicated. Offering up the stabby like this is reasonable, because it's like, alright, well, if you're gonna stabby, or if you're gonna kill my stabby, you're not getting it for free. But we do, of course, have the option for brony to come in. This thing has almost 3,100 HP, by the way. 3,075. That's a tanky pony. Shove Shark Boop. Is this a dead brony? I don't think you can kill it, right? Certainly not if you're like you're not going to do it with just this. So the plan is to kill Temptress. Ooh, I like the aggression here. This is really interesting because there's the potential that Hoploy bronies 100% of Aliengineer's team. Maybe not 100%. They might not be able to get... Yeah, they can't get the Shove Shark, but they can get everything else. Well, they might be able to get the Shove Shark with this. So I guess the game plan here is do as much damage as you can, then turn everything off with brony. Aliengineer does have 7 keys left, Hoploy with only 5. We do get the brony, keeping the Gin Sting out of range. Turns off everything but Shove Shark for Aliengineer, and Ray Chargels is now online. Panic points are even. Just repositioning the Shove Shark. The thing is that Hoploy's not going to win in the next couple of turns. Like, it's literally not possible unless aliengineer just marches their team in. Ooh, get a little Mr. Tramples action. So, like, the Brony turning everything off is fine. But aliengineers had a panic point event. Like, look at the heart health. And because Hoploy had to turn off pretty much their entire team, yeah, they'll come back faster due to the Brony, but that's only if aliengineer doesn't Brony them back and reset it. Additionally, they just don't have any damage. Kablamo. Mr. Trample's putting in work, and now that is a, like, not unkillable, but a very, very sturdy Quagmire on the heart. Brony turning off a good chunk of the team here. And Hoploy's in trouble. This is kind of how I saw the scenario playing out, and hopefully I was describing it that way as we were going through, but there wasn't a great way for Hoploy to capitalize on their Brony hit. Aliengineer just kind of walked away. And then the follow-up Brony, the second Brony from aliengineer, is able to basically seal this game because the only thing that can attack from Hoploy, well, I guess the snowball, but it's basically the Hematic Ginsting, and that's it. Check that. Just the snowball. Aliengineer was not under pressure, phobie-wise, panic point-wise, heart-wise, really nothing, didn't matter. That's a ton of damage from a snowball set of regular attacks, though. Just saying. It looks like aliengineer's just gonna slap the crap out of Hoploy here. And then there was only Akira. Panic point advantage, even. Well done. This is very well played. But yeah, like I said earlier, I have to imagine this was a Karst-prompted game. I think it does showcase a very good usage of Brony, as well as, I don't want to say a really poor usage of Brony, because I don't think Hoploy's Brony was bad. I mean, it obviously led to the loss, so it's like, oh, well, it has to be bad. But it's a very easy trap to fall into, where it's like, oh, I Bronied them. They can't do anything. I'll win this game. But Quagmire punches enemies, not slap. I don't know about that. That looks like an open hand slap. Like, that's a WWE chop. It's Quagmire off the top ropes with the toxic slap. Notably, Akira cannot kill the Shove Shark. That's actually funny. GG. Well played. Well played. Marky is our hero this time on Dark Manor. No notes. This game will also speak for itself. We'll see what happens. If you say so. You really think the Quagmire animation is a punch? It looks like it's open-handed to me. It looks like a slap to me. We'll have to slow it down. Like, the next time there's a Quagmire on the board, if I remember, we'll try and pause it, like, get a good look at it. Plus, it's also just way funnier if Quagmire just straight up slaps you in the face. Like, it's not, it's an open-handed slap. Like, it's one thing if, like, you get in a fight, you get in a fist fight, like, it's a fight. You have a closed fist, you mean business. You know, you're trying to do it. You're mixing it up, you're making things happen. But like, you just slap somebody in the face. And, like, you are intending to insult them. There's a level of disrespect involved in an open-handed slap that is not there if you just slug somebody in the mouth. Right? You gotta let me know, chat. YouTube, let me know. What do you think is more disrespectful, if somebody just punches you versus if somebody open hand slaps you? Plus, the idea of the snot monster slapping you is funny. You got stress level 30? Grats. Coming back to the game, we got Oopsie Baby coming out here. So I'm watching the Oopsie Baby idle animation, and the winding part of the toy in the back spins when it moves around a little bit. I want to see how much it spins when it spins a lot when the head shoots. I want to see what happens when it... Yeah, it looks like it spins when it moves, too. It would make sense, right? How much creepier would it be if, like, the arms popped off and the bugs came out and, like, either pushed it or pulled it along the ground? Did anybody play the Xbox 360 game Condemned Criminal Origins? Because they had a big set of stuff, like a couple of levels. No real spoilers for the game, but, like... they had a bunch of levels where you're supposed to be like a detective or a cop or something. You're tracking down serial killers or something. I haven't played the game in years, so I don't remember. It ends up getting like more occult at the end of the game, but... there are several levels where like you're in an abandoned mall or something and there's a whole bunch of mannequins, which is what Oopsie Baby reminds me of. Our hero down panic points. This is a undead stare down to a degree. But the Oopsie Baby's a big deal. The range is a big advantage. Power down's going to come in clutch. And we're only about halfway through this game. 4 keys to 7 keys remaining. Alright, we're powering down... I was about to say unbreakable, but it's unbearable. We're going to whoop the shit out of Snappy. Is this Snappy dead? This is questionable if you're not killing this Snappy. Well, is it... I guess due to the power down, there's just no way the goon is dying, right? Electricat is underrated if well used, honestly. I don't think Electricat's underrated. I think people rate it appropriately. Like, it's fine. It's a 1 key, so, like, it does things. It'll occasionally come in and one-shot a jar. Like, very rarely, but it can happen. Blom. So we traded Bow for Jar. Possibly also for Snappy? You could have done this differently. You could have allowed the Bachelor to get diseased. Well, this is probably better, because it's less likely that the cassowary dies this turn. Imagine you're in a dark room that you can't see anything, and if you turn off your flashlight, mannequins inside the room move until they can kill you. It's funny you say that, because I saw a clip on YouTube of a game that was basically that. But that's kind of what happened in Condemned Criminal Origins. Like, you're supposed to be... Your character couldn't tell if there was something occult/magical going on, versus they were just going insane. Because in these rooms where you were tracking the bad guys... there was a number of scenarios where, okay, you're in an abandoned strip mall or an abandoned mall, and there's tons of mannequins. But then you go out of the room and you come back in, all the mannequins have moved. So at first you're like, oh, well, the killer came in and they're messing with you. But eventually they're put in poses and move in ways that it's like, I turned around, like I turned my back and I turn around and they all are right in your face. And it's like, nah, you couldn't do that. These things are alive. Also, our hero suddenly in trouble? Question mark? We've gotten 2 bombs. Will we get a third? I have to imagine. You can get a bomb that's a 3-line here. Yep. Blom. That's going to result in a dead unbearable, but not much else dead. There will be a diseased goon, and the Jin Sting's right there. There's a world where this guy dies, but our bad guy's out of keys. Their entire hopes and dreams rest on this Jin Sting. And I gotta be honest, the Oopsie Baby can probably mop all this up. The Oopsie Baby, almost from the position it's in, can control, like, all the relevant points on the board. Alright, so Goon will sacrifice its life, but in the process, that means that our hero's going to be able to clean up the rest. You know what horror game I did see that I want to try? I wanted to see the movie A Quiet Place, or The Quiet Place. I don't know what the title actually is. It's the one where, like, the monsters all track people by sound because they're blind or something. I kind of wanted to see those movies, and I never did. But there's apparently a game. Goon reminds you of Jason from Friday the 13th. I don't know why. Probably because that's what he's supposed to be. I mean, the hockey stick has nothing to do with it, but Jason wears the hockey mask, so... And he was a big hulking dude, or was supposed to be. Yeah, that Tickles is trying to... There it is. I was about to say, the Tickles is getting in position to be in the only spot that would be safe from Oopsie. But with a panic point advantage and Oopsie in position to just shell the heart, I don't think it matters. But yeah, that movie, A Quiet Place, there's a horror game for it now that apparently reads your actual mic. So, like, if you yell or curse at the game or you gasp or something like that, it'll read the mic, which I guess you could cheat and turn your mic off or unplug it or something. Tickles is tickling the heart. Yeah, pretty much. Or you could, like... I don't think it would be... I don't know. I've only had a couple games jump scare me, so I think it would be very difficult for the game to jump scare you. To, like, force you. You could just sit there and, like, okay, I put the mic back so, like, my breathing doesn't do it. Tor? What's good? Just watching Marky close this one out. Oh, man. Yeah, I do kind of want to try that game because it looks fun. At least based on some of the clips. Although the clips are, like, always... Oh, my... Like, it's the streamer reaction to... There's the monster! And it's like, I don't... I want to see the rest of the gameplay. I might try and find some streams of that to see if it's a good game. Alright, so we got that one in the books. What do we got next? I think this is another Karst encouraged game, we'll say. And yeah, this is not on your profile. Shinra killing us here. It is definitely not favorited. Let's see if it's still on the profile. It is not. Womp womp. I know that Karst was trying to get Shinra to submit a game recently, and I assume it was this one, but it's not there. I can't do anything about it. So, womp womp. If you don't favorite the games, they don't get saved. So instead, we will move on to the next. Which also doesn't look like it's saved. Good God. Come on, people. You're killing me here. Let me just make sure. I've made that error before. It happens. Nope. And... nope. Sorry, Dama. Also, did not favorite the game. You guys are killing me tonight. What is going on? Alright, this one's favorited. Somebody can follow directions. We do, in fact, have a favorite game. teavee. But spelt like the drinking tea. I don't know what that means. I don't know what this abbreviation means now. But anyway, Creep managing to get MVP and first time using Shove Shark. Although they wrote the real name, Les Chevelle. Let me get chat back up. Yo, the classic Gesundheit opener? I don't know about that one. I don't feel like we've watched a ton of games on this map. That is a cooked bachelor. And that's going to be a dead snowball, isn't it? If it is, that is not a good trade for bad guy. Really? Nice trick with the words like saying teavee. I don't know if it's intended to be a play on words or if they literally meant, like, there are times where I've seen people's names and it's like, oh, they must be making a funny play on words, and it's like, no, they just literally misspelled it. But I always like to ask, so teavee, let us know. Let us know. But Flail coming out to play after the takedown on Snowball. Flail, of course, the remodeled, retooled Eternal Knight. Here's Shove Shark. It's funny because, like, you guys can see in the background, like, when my toy shelves are visible. It's a thing in the toy community that what often happens is they'll design a toy and then they want to reuse the parts because it's like, oh, well, I make a Transformer, or I make a G.I. Joe, or I make a whatever. If you're the company, your goal is to make money, right? It's like, yeah, we make toys, but the point is to make a profit. And in order to do that, or one of the ways to do that, reduce costs. So you reuse the parts. So it's not uncommon to have a repaint where it's the identical toy and they literally paint it a different color and say it's a different guy. That's how you get Bumblebee and Cliffjumper and stuff like that. Drakey, what's good? First thought was the Drakeys from Dragon Warrior, but but yeah, the point is that, like, they'll repaint stuff and it's now a different character, Starscream and the other Seekers, the Coneheads, stuff like that. Or they'll reuse parts similar to what we're seeing with Eternal Knight and Flail. And this is a community discussion that always comes up. I have no problem with this, that they reuse things. It is better when we get net new things because you want new stuff. But I think it's kind of cool seeing, like, Eternal Knight versus Flail and then just having these sort of things. I don't have a problem with this, and I think people just overreact to having the recolors and the remodels. Kind of the bottom line there. The laugh is pretty cool. I do like that. This is a dead. Ginseng is cooked. Not quite. That should not be enough damage. Ooh, all right. Well played. Didn't even have to use the meatball. Didn't even have to use the meatball. Bad guy's going to get some retaliatory takedowns here, but that's going to result in further retaliation. Live by the sword, die by the cassowary bite, or something like that. I don't know. Nothing in range in order to help with this jar. Cassowary's clearly cooked. Our hero under pressure, though. 45% health, we'll say. Cassowary goes down. I do like this. Claim the distant panic point. I don't know that I love the heal on the jar. Well, actually, it was probably necessary. Is it necessary? Because can't they just meatball the jar? I think it was to prevent the jar / Spud killing it and then forcing the meatball, maybe? Is meatball down? Yeah, meatball's down, so okay. So they get it anyway. That does force both of them into position, so okay. I can get behind the muffin. I thought meatball was up for bad guy. And especially because it forced that, that means that the jar and Spud could not try and deal with this snowball, so again, well played. Takedown there. First attempt at turning the Spud into French fries. I don't know that I love the AWOL. Actually, love the AWOL. Love the AWOL. Again, I thought the Chef Shark was on cooldown. My cooldown counter mentally is all completely off right now. Creep, though, I don't know about that being an MVP play. We'll have to see what else Creep does. Bad guy out of keys, as is our hero, but our hero just simply has more bodies. They don't have a great way to fight all of this, though. It could get complicated to do this. It depends on how patient bad guy wants to be. Can they chip everything down with a jar, which I don't know that they can. They just may not have time to do it. Yeah, they're hoping our hero makes a blunder here and walks into things. But they're appropriately going to wait it out. There's no need for our hero to go after them. They got to come after us. And if they do, we're going to have a bad day. The setup there for the cassowary definitely makes sense. It allows for a double hit due to leap. But we're going to get the leap into the walkaway. I think this is fine. Again, bad guy has to commit to make something happen. Take some hits on the creep, but who cares? You should be able to take down the... well, actually, can you? There might not be enough damage here. Take down the bow. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. We don't have any ranged, which is problematic, but not the end of the world. Bad guy going to get some retaliatory takedowns, but then it's Shove Shark plus Cassowary versus the team. Nope, we're going to go after the Cassowary. Fair. Then Creep will have to do the job, and yeah. This game's over. Well played there, teavee. Well played. That bad guy had you sweating a little bit. Just a little bit. But not quite enough. The Shove Shark play was a heads-up play. Very heads-up play. Got him. GG. Yeah, I don't know about that creep MVP, but I guess I kind of understand why the algorithm thought that. I don't know about that creep MVP. That one felt like a bit of a stretch. Alright, so maybe this is the Cars submitted game for Shinra. Let's see if Shinra favorited this one. Yes? Yes. Yes. I don't know. Shinra, we're back here on Dark Intent. A good way to approach player 2 tempo on Dark Manor, or Dark Manor, I guess is the map, in converting that tempo into a heart rush. Break out your pens and pencils. Take some notes. Man in yellow with the early Gravedigger play. Am I winning? Always. Not always, but I'm not even going to say most of the time, because that's probably not true either. That's probably not accurate either. You saw the Blitz Bowl games from the other night. We're only 50-50. I'm actually kind of excited to assemble the other team, because I think the team looks cool. They have a werewolf. They have, like, a Frankenstein monster flesh golem. And then they have skeletons with pumpkins on them. Which is fun. But minis are fucking expensive, dude. They're expensive. I don't know how anybody does this hobby. And especially because for most games, like, the one I bought was $50, but it gets you a whole team, and, like, hypothetically, you could use that forever. But for actual Warhammer, I think you have to buy, like, multiple $50+ things just to even play, and they may not even be good. Yeah, I do like the idea of... I was talking to my wife about, like, I'm going to pause the game because we do want to pay attention to this. I was talking to my wife for, like, proxying some of the other teams and just, like... So you could do papercraft stuff, which I showed on stream, but you could also... Because I did this to make tokens for a different game, but you can just get, like, epoxy or resin that's clear and then pour it on, like, they'll have craft coins, essentially, like they're just little discs, and then you could put the picture there, and then it's like, then it's a 2D representation. So from top down, it might actually be better because you can see it more readily. So I'm going to look into that, but we'll see. But anyway, this is a very early Panic Point advantage. Look at all these 1 keys. I don't know if Shinra was doing this on their own, but we mentioned this in a game yesterday, I think, for Monster of the Week, that this feels very Karst. Karst has pushed for triple 1 key openers on a variety of different maps. This bow mangles being up here in the north is just pretty savage. That it was threatening the heart like that immediately. But this is a Panic Point advantage. I don't love the boom follow-up from either player, to be kind of blunt, but... Oh, I agree, Atona. Some minis just look great. The minis do look great. But I think some of the other stuff also looks really good. Like, it's not that they look bad in comparison, it's just like... They look good within the realm of what they're trying to do. I will say it's interesting that Shinra is prioritizing the damage on the Phobies over the heart, which definitely makes sense at this stage in the game. Like, there isn't really a huge threat to end the game quickly. But Man in Yellow is in a tough position. Alright, choosing to take out the boom. Don't you just lose bow here? Are we just trying to trade? Do you even need to trade bow here? Okay, with the Jin Sting there, this might be a threat for Shinra to actually... You do like 1 bow hit, 1 Jin Sting hit, and the cat hit is probably not enough to kill this. So that means you have to stand your ground, which means you're going to lose either your bow or your Jin... Most likely your bow, right? Actually, Man in Yellow might not be able to do this. I have a daily double active and haven't gotten the 10k coffee. It's very rare, winner. Like, there are people talking about it, but there's a lot of people that play Phobies. And naturally, if you don't, it's gonna feel like more people are getting it because the people who are getting it are gonna be excited about it, so they're gonna announce it. Everyone who's whiffing on it is not gonna be like, oh, well, I still haven't gotten it. You know what I mean? Well, most people won't. Okay, real talk. Why are people responding with glob all the time now? Like, I legitimately don't get it. There are 3 keys left, so Man in Yellow might be thinking, oh, well, I can shove shark here. But, like, I don't know. Also, I don't love the Bachelor here as a 1 key. I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, it 100% doesn't matter. I do appreciate just the aggressive positioning on the Murder Wing. This is great situational awareness from Shinra to just be like, you can't stop me at this stage. You can't push enough damage. Would it have mattered? Like, let's say that that glob was a daisy. Would that matter? Probably not. Yeah, actually it would. Would you have been able to do the like? I guess it doesn't matter. You would have been able to kill the Hematic, but you can't stop the Murder Wing, nor can you stop the bees from Jin Sting. $150. Yeah, I don't think it would have mattered. Like, the glob being something else wouldn't have mattered. This is a game that's worth going back and rewatching to see how the early parts... Like, I agree about the tempo advantage that was gained. Shinra had an early board positional advantage. I don't know that it's strictly because it's player 2. Like, it felt more because Man in Yellow had a somewhat passive opener. Like, going Gravedigger into stuff, whereas Shinra just kind of pushed out onto the board much more readily. But it's worth going back and reviewing. Is Cluck good anyway? No. Cluck is pretty bad. How much does he cost? 6? Is he 7? So he's not good. And the reason being is you just don't get enough value out of Flextosterone. Will you win games with Cluck? Yeah, sure, you can. But generally speaking, you'd be better off with, like, Gonzo. And another 2-key. Or putting it into, instead of having, like, a 5-key, you could have a 7-key kind of thing. His ability is inherently self-limiting, because it only buffs him. It doesn't last that long. And he's not, like, impressively statted. Like, he's kind of worthless without his buff. Carson and I talked about it on the podcast way back when he was first released. I think the Phobie's a great design art-wise. I mean, it's gross and creepy, but, like, it's a cool Phobie. It's a funny pun, but as a game piece, he's not great. Wish I could have gotten something better than Cluck, though. There's a bunch of dud ultra rares. There are a number of them that are just objectively worse, especially now. Like, I would defend Heartbreaker a lot, and at this point, it's like, yeah, Heartbreaker's just outclassed by multiple Phobies at this stage. So it's like, you can't really defend it. I would consider Cluck to be one of the worst Phobies in the game. It would be cool if they reworked the ability to be a permanent buff, but a lot less. Over time, it'd be a big boy. Interested in seeing them make a Phobie that buffs itself permanently without having to kill. Gain 30. I could see it. Like, at that stage, you'd probably just make it a passive. Don't even bother making it an active. But maybe it has to be active so that way it can't be super mobile. Because you definitely need it to be 2 movement to be relevant. It's a melee Phobie, but if you make it a passive, it can move around the map too readily. So I think it needs to be like he buffs himself up, but you still have to activate it or something. I feel like if you make it too low and it takes 1,000 years, that's not going to be very good. But you have Hercules, though. Yeah, Hercules, a lot of people are pretty excited about. I don't know. Like, the AoE on Hercules, the AoE is just absolutely enormous. The problem is that it's strictly a stat-based Phobie, so it's only about now that we're really going to get people that are going to be able to show us whether it's good, bad, or otherwise, because you need to level him up. You can't just throw him out there. He's going to be trash if he's wildly underleveled. All right, next game, we're back on Pluto, this time with noobsim, going all the way back to the beginning of this month. Glob is supposed to do full damage despite smoke. I don't know if that is you're telling us that that's a bug, or it's a wish, or what. But why are we seeing so many globs? Did everybody watch The Blob lately, and they feel inspired? Why do we have so many globs? Seriously, I don't get it. Why are there so many globs? noobsim with the classic sucky opener on this map. Little snappy action. Bad guy playing into the undead event, I guess. The undead event, maybe, possibly. Billy is more sick than you. I still have yet to see Billy in gameplay. Maybe somebody has submitted a game with it, we'll see. Glob has that globness inside him that hypnotizes people to summon something like that. I mean, Glob is a good phobie, right? Like, I'm not trying to... This is not the Halfy argument. This is not why do people keep putting Halfy and Bloat and Temptress on the board when they're bad. Because those... Like, Glob is a playable phobie. But I think a lot of people put them on the board, and it's like, this thing is never going to do anything. We saw it in the Shinra game, although I have to imagine that Man in Yellow had thought they had more time, and therefore we're going to potentially be able to get a like a Shove Shark on the board. What the hell is bad guy doing? Do you not lose both Cassowary and Snappy for freezies here? I guess it's not for free, but like... That didn't seem worth it. And I don't think... I guess it's possible to get the spider. So you hit with Boom. You allow a jar to come up. And then in conjunction with 2 lava hits, you might be able... Maybe the spider's dead anyway. Nope. Spider lives. Why did they do this? Hold on. Yeah, jar hit wouldn't have gotten it. I was thinking that noobsim could have done a different sequence on their turn, and the spider would not have ended up on the lava, but maybe it didn't matter. 3-to-1 panic point advantage. Our hero clearly in position to take control of the stim. However, that furnace phase, when this map first released, everybody, understandably was upset about the fact that it's very difficult to try and gain control of that stim if you weren't already in control. It's a very downhill map, but Furnace Face is a way to do it. Not gonna lie, Billy could have been better off with 350 damage instead of 250 at level 1. I get the point of putting a 250 damage because of his passive, but Billy is too weak with this low on damage. It's, air quotes, 350 because of the fire. Yes, it doesn't scale that way with multiple hits, but I think Billy is intended to be a harassing phobie, where it's you go in, poke, get out. Go in, poke, get out. Also, there's a primate number 9 for unknown reasons, but there is also said glob. So the question is, because the yoink should be available from the spider, 3 keys remaining, you could yoink the primate, but you can't get the glob to connect with the furnace face. So what's going to happen here? How are we playing this? Oh, that's how we're going to do it. Get the Shove Shark, in fact. Get a little Shove Shark action. Yeah, bad guy's got to beat feet out of here. Alright, so this will be important for later, but the glob does 1,360 damage. $1,360. There is a Finnegan, which does allow for some potential anti-globness. That assumes that it lives. Pretty sure Spider is live now. So we're going to go after the Daisy, which is an interesting choice. Yoinking the furnace face, huh? I guess. I don't... This is weird. Yeah, I don't love this because you get... Oh, I wasn't paying attention to the damage, how much the glob did to the Daisy. Did it do enough damage? Did it do the proper amount of damage? I also don't know how the fire is worded. Direct attacks. I assume the glob is not a direct attack? Direct enemy attacks and abilities. Status effects counter or last act. So I guess maybe the glob counts as status effect? I don't know. I didn't see how much damage it acted. Well, we'll get another chance. Maybe. Didn't say how much damage it did. But glob is cooked regardless. This furnace face has been sitting on that fire for a while. Now it's going to cook in its own fire. Dead furnace face. Wasn't cooking long. Well played there, noobsim. Yeah, I don't know if the glob damage thing is a bug or was doing it the way it's supposed to. I don't know what the expected outcome is. It is one of the problems, it being a digital game and in, you know, a mobile game and all this stuff, that, like, there are corners that are cut for the sake of being brief and concise. And I'm not a huge fan. There isn't really a great way to communicate some of these edge cases, though. Like, no matter what, there's going to be, okay, here's this dissertation about how it's supposed to function. And obviously they don't want to do that. All right, let's see here. Got 2 more for tonight, chat. 2 more. This one. Pinapple is our hero. Been a while, Chomp, as long as you exclude the game broken by the update. And all the things I've submitted, and of all the things I could have submitted, it's a jackalope game. That at least did have success with them for once. Hey, we've seen a few jackalope games where I've lost games to text being incorrect. I don't think there's... I can't think of any examples where the text is incorrect, like it is just straight up wrong. But there are a lot of them that are fuzzy, where it's just simply... there are potentially multiple, 2 or more interpretations of how things should play out. And as a result, like, yeah, you have, in Arena especially, you find out the hard way. I guess in async you could also have that happen depending on, you know, how the interaction plays out, like what the specific is, but... So we went early jackalopes to face down turn 1 Crushmore, because... Sure. Team Jackalope, go. The jackalopes are in sync, or were in sync momentarily. Pinapple banking up. We don't have another... there is another jackalope, but like we don't have a 6-cost jackalope, so... Not sure what we're waiting on. That's a bold move there, Cotton, because that Crushmore is dead, and I think pretty much 100% of players in this game would be very happy to trade their 2-cost jackalope for Crushmore. What's funny is the Crushmore... The Crushmore death killed the jackalope. That's actually hilarious. Enemy blue is my most recent example. By reading the text, I believed I could make it blow up by placing a phobie next to it on my turn. It only blows up on opponent's turn. Yeah. Droney, the killer of resurrect phobies. True. Droney is the assassin. This game has less to do with jackalopes and more to do with bad guy just hating their phobies. Just very willingly flinging them into the teeth of our hero's team here. I think I would have placed the jar differently, but this is fine. That's a tooth fairy. So if the jar was where the Jin Sting is right now, it could have helped clear out the Blanky, but also would have been able to shell this murder wing, which means that this is a dead murder wing, plus you'd still be able to heal the hematic. The only other option bad guy would have is instead of placing the murder wing aggressively... Wait, what? We didn't get the heal? Why didn't you heal this thing? Did you run out of time? Yikes. That's not supposed to happen. The only other thing bad guy could have done was place the murder wing defensively, like put it on this bottom middle panic point to hit the hematic, therefore being out of range of the jar positioning. In which case you would have had him like force them into a more defensive position, which I think is preferable. That's not great. Zero keys. Microscopic's got to carry the day alongside Team Jackalope. Misanthrope didn't die? Ooh, no, not like this. Yikes. How's Jackalope King still putting in work even though it doesn't have its Jackalope friends on site? He's doing his best. He's trying to avenge his people. His subjects will have died in valor and not in vain. I do appreciate keeping the king alive. If you sent it in, it probably would have died. Because 3 attacks is probably sufficient to kill it, and then the 4th action could have been a movement. This is actually really funny, because now it's impossible for this jar to kill the Jackalope King. I guess it's not impossible, but it is extremely unlikely. And now, you back off, claim panic point, and they're SOL. Just don't get chipped down, and you're fine. I guess that's fine. Because they can't kill you and step on you on the same turn. And you get it anyway. Well played there, Pinapple. Well played, GG. Alright, chat. Last one for this evening. Oh, clicked on the wrong thing. Alright, Gundam is back. Exponential Decay. I think Flesh Crawler has a lot of potential, and this game is a good demonstration of it. Well, I can tell you for absolute certainty, Flesh Crawler has significantly more potential now than it did a few months ago. Although maybe the buff was a few months ago now. It all kind of blurs together. But yeah, Flesh Crawler was kind of doo-doo for a very long time, and now it at least... like, you can respect it now. It has earned respect at this stage. That's a very early Cyclops. Is this an A-Markin game? A-Markin plays Cyclops probably more than any other high-level player I've seen. I think. There's no easy way to keep stats in this game. I have looked into, like, there's different ways to, do, like, for the tournaments, I mean. Like, have a separate tournament leaderboard. And I've looked into that. There's some setup to be done. I don't know if people would really care. But I think it would be interesting. But there is absolutely no clean or easy way to track phobia usage or anything like that. It's just not feasible. You'd have to do it all by hand, and that's just not a thing I'm willing to do. I tried to do it for a while for Fright Night and stuff with only like top 8, and even then it's still like, it's a lot of games and it's very easy to make an error because of the amount of data that you're trying to track. There's no way, like there are no log files or anything that you can scrape to read the data. So, well, at least not in an effective way, we'll put it that way. In one of my games, Flesh Crawler dies before making a real change. I mean, it impacted the board then, just maybe not in a favorable way. Maybe not in a favorable way. Technically, every time you put a phobia on the board, or a phobia is eliminated no matter, what happens, it did impact the board state. It's just not always in the way that the player who put it on the board intended. That's the catch. But Flesh Crawler has made its appearance. Let's see how it does. This is a very basic looking Phobies layout. Like, we have a lot of, here's stuff you start the game with, or pretty close to it. And then there's Repeller. That kind of changes a lot of the math here. Heroes maxed out. Bad guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Also maxed out. 10 keys to 16 remaining. Panic points once again under control of our hero. And our hero's probably happy to trade 1 keys at this stage. Both players have their explosive phobia available, but Flesh Crawler is a significantly larger threat than Sheep and Gas right now, I believe. Our hero does have their own poison option and creep, but nah. But the fact that our hero does have a displacement tool and bad guy does not also represent a significant threat because, well, you can just simply force them into something they don't want to be. Where they don't want to be. I don't know what the point of this is. Oh, is this a takedown with the Klepto? No. I don't know that I love this. Alright, bad guy has, I don't know. I feel like bad guy's offering up multiple avenues for a solid Flesh Crawler hit. Yeah, bad guy will get some counter kills here, but I don't know that it's great. Alright, we're going north for this. Like, dude. That's 10 keys right there. Quote unquote, for free. I do like the creep moving the way it did instead of just claiming the panic point. I don't love... That's 2 games in a row. Why are people not healing with the Clinico? Also, what happened here? Is that what happened? Does that happen only when Dimensionals die? You get this, like, little black hole effect thing? Or is that every phobie? It didn't look like it happened there. Maybe it's only Dimensionals. Should kind of make sense, alright. Motherload. Previously, hands down better than Flesh Crawler. But now, how the turntable. I guess our hero was saving the Clinico to heal. Ooh, with the boop. The double kill from the repeller. Gundam with multiple highlights in this game. Yeah, they were probably saving the Clinico for the heal on the Klepto. Bad guy getting cooked here. Looking like they're going to go for the repeller. Not good enough. Yeah, it looks like... Well, was that from the jar killer, or is that because a mech died? Like that yellow splash on the ground. I have not Atona. I don't know that I want to see that. Tentacles? Tentacles! Not enough splash to kill this, but the... Oh, it is! Really? I didn't think that was going to be enough. You can get the motherload counter hit, but there's not enough damage. Like, this is a lot of HP to get through, and there's not enough damage here, I think, to do this as bad guy. Oh, no. Look at that. The Sparky surviving with what I have to imagine is like 17 health. That's a yikes moment. I'm surprised this isn't the ball game right here. Needed just a little bit more splash damage. Well played there, Gundam. Well done. Bad guy trying to make a game of it, but, yeah, writing is on the wall. G. Well played. Let me mark this one down, chat. Just make sure we got through everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Got through all the games for tonight. Those are the viewer games for tonight. Definitely some interesting games. Appreciate everybody coming out. If you want to submit your own games, hit up the Random Slots Discord. Link in the description. But that's going to do it for this episode of Viewer Games. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Random Slots.